Close your eyes, whisper, Spirit, prepare my heart for this divine surprise. You thought it was over. That chapter closed. You made peace with the silence. You walked away with grace, even when your heart felt torn. But heaven doesn't forget unfinished stories. It sends them back, not to reopen wounds, but to invite healing, not to replay old roles, but to rewrite endings. Someone from your past is returning, but this time they're different. You'll know it by the shift. In their voice, their tone will hold humility. Their eyes will reflect honesty, not the denial of before. They've carried regret. They've cried in hidden places. They've talked to God at night, not to argue, but to surrender. Something happened to them off camera. Not punishment, but purification. They faced their shadow. They felt their pride break. They learned that they hurt you, that their choices mattered, that real love carries weight. And now they're coming back. Not for comfort, not for closure, for restoration. They see you now not as a memory, but as the miracle you are. They respect your light. They respect your voice. They understand your depth. When they say your name, it will be with reverence, because they understand your worth. This is not the same path we've walked. This is a redemption arc, scripted by heaven, backed by prayer, ushered in by change. They won't come rushing, they'll pause. They'll let the air hold its breath, because sacred reunions deserve silence, because grace needs space. You'll feel it when they reach out, a tremble born from reverence, not hesitation. They're not here to win you back. They're here to honor you, to care for your wounds, to protect your dreams. They've developed roots now. They won't bend in your light. They'll stand with it. This isn't a reset. It's a rewrite. A chance to do it right. They'll show up. Consistency will come in their footsteps. Their words will match their actions. No more hope built on sand. This time you'll feel rooted, because heaven doesn't return broken things. They bring them back better. They've met God in the quiet. They chose light instead of escape, so expect it. Don't fear it. Lean into it. When they speak, your soul will understand before your ears. There may be pain, lingering ghosts of what hurt once. That's okay. Divine reunions hold both peace and pain. Because healing is complex, they'll hold space for that. They'll let you lead. This isn't performance, it's posture. They learned humility. They learned listening. They'll ask questions. Now, they'll stay still and hear your answers. Your voice became their teacher. Your grace became their lesson. They remember how you stayed kind, even when kindness wounded them. They remember how you covered them. Instead of condemning, they remember how you prayed, even when you could have walked, and that memory broke them open. They sat with it. They faced it. They repented. Now they're rising from it, to cherish you, to build what was always meant to be. They won't erase the past. They'll honor it. Because this moment is sacred. You don't need to fix them. You don't need to silence your wounds. They know. They've been to the wilderness of regret. They've wrestled with God and with themselves. This return is informed by conviction, not confusion, not fear. You'll sense it in the stillness, a stillness that feels holy, a pause that holds promise. Your spirit has been preparing for this. Slowly, gently, faithfully. You stayed, you trusted, you forgave, even in secret. That wasn't weakness, that was worship, that was faith in what's unseen. And faith carried you here. Now, see them approaching. They're not fearful, they're soft. Their words will carry weight. Their eyes will hold transparency. They're not expecting perfection. They just want permission. Permission to restore, to pursue, to stand with you as a partner in healing. They'll speak truth, not charm. They'll show substance, not surface. You won't be guessing. You'll be anchored, anchored in presence, anchored in God's timing. Because when heaven moves, it's aligned with purpose, not randomness. This is no accident. Your resurrection from heartache is matched by theirs. They're returning with sacrifice, with sincerity, with the humility to ask for what they once overlooked. They'll honor your boundaries, your pace. They'll show you they've grown, not just talk about it. Their consistency will speak. Their actions will testify. Love like this, it isn't easy. It demands posture, not posturing. It requires humility. It respects depth. It leans into vulnerability. When they say they see you, they mean it. Because they've seen you in prayer. They've carried your name before heaven's throne. They've built a foundation so they can return without fear. They're ready to echo your grace, to mirror your kindness, to hold you sacredly. This reunion is real. It's divine. It's unfolding. Now, open your heart wider. Let your spirit register it. If it stirs something within you, that's confirmation. Now, whisper softly, sacred reunion, I receive you. Your angels are waiting. Heaven is aligning, and the one returning, they're bringing all they learned, all they prayed for, all they redeemed. Because this time, they're not taking, they're tending. They're coming back not to relive the past, but to reclaim a future built on grace. And your heart will whisper, this was always worth waiting for. Because your love isn't just precious, it's holy and heaven honors holiness. Asterisk, because this isn't just love returning, it's purpose, it's prophecy, it's a promise being fulfilled. You didn't chase it. You didn't manipulate the moment. You matured into it, and heaven never forgot the seeds you planted in silence. All the nights you prayed instead of posting, all the times you chose peace over proving your point. That energy, it never went unnoticed. It echoed in the spirit. It moved angels. It made space for a miracle. This reunion is more than emotion. It's divine strategy. You had to let them go so God could get their attention. They had to lose you to find themselves. And in that space, they found God. And now, they're bringing him back with them. Not in words, but in posture. You'll see it in how they take responsibility. In how they don't defend their old ways. They'll own it, fully. Not to make you pity them, but to show you they're safe now. Not perfect, safe, because now they understand that to love you is to cover you, to show up even when it's inconvenient. They're ready now, not in a desperate way, but in a grounded way, not with gifts or grand gestures, but with truth, with stillness, with changed behavior. You'll feel it in the pauses, the way they leave room for your voice. They won't rush your forgiveness. They'll respect your timing. They'll sit in the tension if that's what healing requires. This return, it will feel unfamiliar, because it's holy, not the recycled kind of love, the refined kind, born through fire, forged through surrender. You'll recognize it by the peace. Even if your mind has questions, your spirit will nod. They won't come back with promises. They'll come back with patterns. You'll see it in the way they wait, in how they don't flinch at silence, in how they show up consistently, not as a performance, but as their new nature. Because God didn't just change their words. He changed their walk. They don't need to explain everything. Your heart will read them. It will know this is not the one who walked away. This is the one who walked through the fire and came out softened. They're not afraid of your calling anymore. They respect your mission. They understand now that to walk beside you means to rise, not to shrink. They know it's not about completing you. It's about complementing the assignment on your life. They don't need to control you. They just want to cover you, to walk with you, not ahead of you, not behind, beside, because this time they see what heaven always saw in you, and they're not scared of the responsibility. They're grateful for the chance. They don't want to repeat the past. They want to redeem it. And redemption isn't easy. It takes presence, patience, prayer. But they've done the work. They've sat in the ashes long enough. They're not asking you to forget. They're asking you to witness who they've become. And when you do, you'll feel something sacred rise inside you. Not the old longing, the new peace. Because what's real doesn't need to shout. It arrives softly, but carries weight. And this time, their presence will carry peace, because it's covered in God. So, if this word is yours, speak it aloud. I receive this reunion, not out of fantasy, but out of faith. If your soul bears witness, subscribe now, confirm with a like. Declare in the comments, redemption is here, and bless this word with a super thanks if it planted something holy in you, because this return, this holy return, was written, and it's unfolding now in silence, in grace, in alignment, because when heaven moves, everything sacred follows, and this time, you won't be left guessing. You'll be left grateful, because when God brings it back, He brings it back better, not just for closure, but for covenant, not just to heal, but to rebuild, and love like that. It's not light dot, it's legacy. Legacy that's been purified, sanctified, tested by time, and proven by surrender. This is not a story of second chances. It's a story of divine timing, because this was never just about the two of you. It was about the divine work happening. Within each of you, you became whole on your own. You learned how to stand without them. You made peace with the unknown. And that's why they can come back now, because you're not looking to be completed. You're already complete. This reunion isn't to fix you. It's to walk beside you in the fullness of your strength. They don't see you as someone to rescue. They see you as someone to rise with. They're not intimidated by your light anymore. They're inspired by it. They want to protect it, nurture it, pray over it. This is what growth does. It humbles, it quiets, it corrects, and it prepares. They've been prepared by silence, by sorrow, by spirit. They now know what you carried in that season. They feel what you felt, because heaven let them walk through the very pain they caused, not to punish, but to give them perspective. They've been refined by regret, by release, by revelation. They remember your patience, your compassion, your unwavering dignity, and they know now they didn't lose someone ordinary. They lost someone sacred, and heaven whispered, "You're not ready to move forward until you make this right." So they prayed, they repented, they waited, and now they're walking toward you with open hands, with honest eyes, with humbled hearts. Don't be surprised if they speak slowly, if their voice trembles. If they cry, that's not weakness, that's reverence. They know what they're approaching. They know they're standing on holy ground. Because you've become holy ground, your growth, your boundaries, your grace, it changed the atmosphere. You're not who they left. You're the healed version, the risen version, the anointed version, and they know if they're going to walk beside you now, they must come correct. No ego, no excuses, No games, just presence, just truth, just readiness. So take a breath. Let your heart feel the shift. Heaven is moving. Your angels are aligning things. This isn't the end. This is the redemption, the restoration, the release, not into what was, but into what's possible. You don't have to fight for this. You don't have to prove your worth. They see it now, clearly, because God opened their eyes in the exact way. He opened yours. So when they speak, listen not just with your ears. Listen with your spirit. And when your spirit says yes, let your heart stay open. This is the kind of return that doesn't repeat pain. It repairs it. This is the kind of love that doesn't just promise change. It shows change. And if you're wondering whether to trust it, look not at their words, look at their walk, because you'll know them by their fruit. And this time, the fruit is different. It's rooted in prayer, in patience, in purpose, because love, like this, real love, was always sacred. Now it's finally ready. So if your heart is still here, if your spirit has stayed soft, if your soul has been sensing this shift, ... say yes. Not out of desperation, but out of discernment, because this time, they're not just coming back to hold you, they're coming back to cover you. And that kind of love, it only returns when heaven says it's time. Asterisk, and heaven has spoken. This is the time. The chapter is turning, not because you pushed, but because you prayed. The blessing is not the return, it's the transformation. They aren't coming back to be who they were. They're coming to become who they were, always meant to be. They finally understand what it means to love someone sacred, not by possession, not by pressure, but by presence. They felt your absence, not just your body, your spirit. They missed the peace you brought, the prayers you whispered, the way you held space without asking for anything in return. That love was rare. That love was real. And now they're ready to honor it, because the weight of your love demands maturity. And now they're mature. They don't just want to apologize. They want to repair. Not with bandages, but with building. They're bringing bricks this time, not just bouquets, because they've realized you don't rebuild with words. You rebuild with work, and they're ready to work. For your trust, for your safety, for your future. They understand now that love isn't a feeling, it's a responsibility, and they want to carry it with both hands, the way you always did. No more fear of your light. No more running from your strength. They're not here to compete with you, they're here to complement you, because your love is not a light thing. It's a holy thing. And it took losing you for them to realize they were touching something sacred with dirty hands. They've washed now. They've wept. They've worshipped, and they've waited for God's green light to approach you again now. That light has turned, not because they're perfect, but because they're positioned. So don't be surprised when the message arrives, when the name lights up your phone, when your soul suddenly exhales, not in fear, but in clarity. You'll know, because what's returning to you isn't just a person. It's a divine alignment, an answered prayer, a healing unfolding, and your angels, they've orchestrated every moment. The delays, the distance, the discomfort, all of it led to this redemption. You didn't miss it, you didn't lose it, you didn't break it. It was being built where you couldn't see, and now it's arriving with fruit, with fire, with foundation. This is not the return you remember. This is the return you prayed for. So open your spirit. Stay soft, stay grounded. Let them come with reverence. Let them prove with presence. You don't need to run. You don't need to chase. You just need to receive. Because love like this, it doesn't come fast. It comes faithfully. And this time, it's here to stay. Asterisk if your spirit feels the truth in this. Take a breath. Place your hand over your heart and say softly, I receive this reunion. Not because you're desperate, but because you're ready. Ready for love that's grown. Ready for presence that stays. Ready for healing that holds. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to Angel Messages for you. Like this video to anchor the blessing. Comment below. Redemption is here, to claim it in faith. And if you believe this word could be someone else's confirmation, share it. Your witness might be their wake-up call. And if this message blessed you deeply, send us super thanks to help us reach more souls with life-giving truth. This is your moment, your shift, your divine surprise. Heaven hasn't forgotten you. And what's coming back, it's not just better. It's blessed, it's holy, it's right on time.